I was always told, you're only a gymnast, that's your identity, that's who you are. When that was kind of stripped away from me, I literally had no idea who I was.
Hi, I'm Brooke Gleichowski, and I'm so excited to welcome you to Beam Boldly. As an NCAA Division I gymnast, I know firsthand what it feels like to carry the weight of performance, expectations, and identity. Here, we're going to talk about all of it. We're going to talk about mental health, performance anxiety, NIL, resilience, and of course, how faith is our foundation that carries us through all of that. Whether it's stepping onto the beam in competition or just stepping out in everyday life, we are called to live boldly, and we're called to let our light shine. The name Beam Boldly was inspired by the verse Matthew 5:16, which says, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." To me, that's what this podcast is all about. So if you're ready to hear raw conversations, find strength in faith, and be reminded that you're never walking this journey by yourself, join me as we step boldly into everyday life. What's up, you guys? Welcome to Beam Boldly. I'm so excited for today's episode because we are welcoming Jordan Bowers. Welcome, Jordan.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I am so excited about this. Y'all came and competed at Georgia last year, and you guys were just the nicest team. Everyone had a great meet. I just remember the cold tubs afterwards. The vibes were good. We were all chatting. It was so good, and I'm so excited that we get to do this. If you guys do not know Jordan, Jordan is the 2025 Honda Sport Award winner. She was 2025 NCAA All-Around Champion, SEC Gymnast of the Year. You were also the first gymnast at Oklahoma to score 3 perfect 10s in the same meet. Crazy. What was that like? I mean, just like, were you expecting that at all?
No, that was actually crazy. The first time I did it was my junior year at Big 12s, and that was crazy because we hosted Big 12s that year. So it was like such a sweet moment to be able to do it in front of Sooner Nation. And we also broke the NCAA team score record, which was just absolutely insane. I kind of knew going into floor, we started on vault, and I got a perfect 10 on vault and bars.
Mm-hmm.
Floor's last event, I'm last on floor. And like going into floor, I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a high score. Like, we could seriously do this.
Yeah.
I don't like to look at the scores. I don't even watch.
I'm the same way. I don't watch. I don't look
I
at
don't even
scores.
watch the person in front of me go
Mhm,
anytime.
mhm.
Like, beam, I completely leave the arena before I go.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm kind of like, I'm in my own thing. Like, I
Yeah.
don't like to pay attention to all those things.
Yeah.
And I could just like kind of feel that energy. And it was just
Mhm.
such a surreal moment. And then Faith Torres went before me and she got a 10. And I couldn't celebrate with her because I was about to go.
Right, you're like, "I gotta lock in."
Yeah, and that was her first 10, so that was so exciting. And then I went and had such an amazing floor routine, and then after I look up at the team score and I was like, oh my gosh, we almost got a 199. Like, that's crazy. And that's something that we like had always talked about too, like
Yeah.
to get a 199.
That's so cool. So those routines, any perfect 10 you got, were those, like, just average routines for you? Like, was it that abnormal for you to do a routine like that?
I would say no. Like, I feel like that's something we drill like in
Right.
practice every single time too. And even on the routines that I do get 10s on, I can
Yeah.
still find little things that
Yeah.
I could do better.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that is just something that, we're always looking to strive for more. Like, even if you think it's perfect, like, you can always do a
Like,
little better.
yeah. Wow. Awesome. So cool. Also, you were on the winning team 3 out of 4 of your years, national championship team. That's super cool. How was that experience just, like, with as a team? Because being in elite and in club, like, it's
Mhm.
so individual unless you're, like,
Yes.
at the Olympics in the team final, right?
It
So
is
how
so
was
different.
that, like, with your team?
Yeah, that was honestly like something that I did struggle with my freshman year was
Mhm.
transitioning into that team atmosphere. I trained alone, I competed alone, like
Yeah.
everything I did was alone. So it was a really hard transition for me into college. And oh, if I make a mistake, it's not just on me, like it
Yeah.
affects the rest of the team. And that
Right,
was hard
right.
for me to get a grasp of. I really struggled like the first half of my freshman year with that
Mm.
and just gaining a lot of confidence in myself and knowing that if I did make a mistake, like my teammates weren't going to be mad at me. Like
Right.
that's
Like
such
they
like a
had your
real
back.
feeling. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I had, like, this same realization over the last year,
Hmm.
and I even came from like, I went to Brandy Johnson, so I had a giant,
Yes.
club team, you know, and so I was definitely used to that, but it was still no one else depended on me.
No.
I was used to, like, being a part of a team and the atmosphere and the cheering and all that, but I was not used to being like, everyone else depends on this
Yeah.
score. I fell at my first 2 meets on beam after, like, literally not falling on a single inter squad all
Mhm.
preseason, like,
That was
I
like me
remember.
freshman year too.
Yeah, and I'm sure, like, you land on the you're, like, on the floor and you're like, "How did I get here?" Like,
Yeah.
"Wait, I, like, don't do this. Like, this is not normal." And, obviously, that sent me into, like, a spiral because I was like, "Wait, what am I doing?" But it was really the realization of my teammates love me and they believe in me and they have my back, and even the fact that I had, like, a 3rd chance to be in lineup after not doing well,
Hmm.
my team was still like, "No, we still know that you got this. Even though these last 2 times were not normal for you, we still believe in you. We still fully think you can do it. We still fully have your back." And I was like, "Wait, but why? The evidence doesn't show that." But they were like, "That's what being on a college team is about and what
Yes.
it's like."
Yeah. No, I love that. I feel like we had a
Yeah.
very similar experience in that.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so I love this conversation already, but I do wanna back up a little bit and hear more about your story. So will you just tell me how you started gymnastics, how that came about in your life?
Yeah, so I have an older sister. She's 3 years older than me. Her name's Felicity, but she did gymnastics when she was younger, and she did swimming, and she loved horses and all that stuff. And I was just a crazy child. Would flip all over the place, do very unsafe things around the house. My parents were like, okay, this girl needs to be in a safe place to do these
Right.
so she won't break her neck doing them around the house. So I started at the age of 2, like in the mommy and me classes,
Mhm,
and just absolutely fell in love. And it was just so fun. And I climbed up in the levels pretty quickly.
mhm.
I was doing 20 hours a week by the age of 5,
Wow.
which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, so, like, what level? Like,
I was level
6?
5.
Level 5 at the age of 5, wow. Yeah,
And I also did competitive diving with it as well. I loved
cool.
diving.
Okay.
But at the age of 8, I got way too busy with both.
Mhm.
So my parents like, okay, you have to choose. Like, you cannot be doing both. You don't have time for this.
Right, right.
So ultimately, I chose gymnastics and stuck
Mhm,
with that. And at level 9 Westerns, I was invited to developmental national team camp at
mhm,
Curly Ranch. That was
mhm.
in 2013.
Okay, so how old were you at that point as level 9? Like 10? Less 9?
Yeah, I was 9.
9? Okay, okay.
Yeah, so started kind of getting into that elite world, and I was like, Olympics are always a little gymnast
Oh,
dream,
yeah. I don't
no
know
matter
what
what.
gymnast doesn't have that, like, thought in
Yes,
their head.
yes, but kind of at that age, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna go and train with national staff with all these
Right.
incredible gymnasts. Like it like could actually be possible.
Mhm.
So started really getting serious about gymnastics and training a lot more. I qualified for international elite 2015
Okay.
at a normal like elite qualifier meet, and I was still going to developmental national team camps then. I went to like Hope's Classic and all
Okay,
of
okay.
that and did all the Hopes stuff. I
Yeah.
never did tops, but I did Hopes.
Okay, so that's the one thing I did do.
Okay.
I did do tops, and then I
Yeah.
was like, "Alright,
I was like not a
bye."
big I was like at a small gym. I'm from
Right.
Nebraska, so that
Okay,
wasn't a
okay.
huge thing. I was the only elite ever in Nebraska
Right.
at that point. So it was just like it was a very different type of route for me. And those
Mhm.
girls that I would go to developmental national team, like they all knew each other from tops. They all did tops together. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
what am I
You're
doing?
like the random girl from Nebraska.
Literally. They're like, oh my gosh, we've
Gotcha.
never had somebody from Nebraska. I'm like,
You're like, "Oh, good to know I'm the first." That's great.
yes. So that's kind of
Cool.
how I got into that world.
Yeah.
And then once I made international, or once I qualified for junior elite,
Okay. Okay.
started going to national team camps after that, doing like U.S. Classics, P&G championships, all of that stuff, and then would do all the verification camps, selection
Yeah.
camps, and I got selected for my first international assignment in 2018, the Pacific Rim Championships in Medellin, Colombia, and I won all around there, and we won team.
Wow.
And then I also made the Pan American Championships
Mm-hmm.
games later that year in June in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And we
Mm-hmm.
also won team, and I won all around there again. And then went into like elite season for the U.S., which is in the summer. Competed
Right.
at U.S. Classics. I got third that year. Was like really pushing difficulty, trying a bunch of new skills. So that was like kind of when I felt like I was kind of really on the brink of that breaking point. I
Yeah.
had gotten so much international experience. I was on national team. I was traveling so much,
Mm-hmm.
and just really kind of honing in on my craft of gymnastics. And then
Yeah.
at the U.S. Championships, I did not have a good day one, and then the practice day in between, I ended up getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I slipped a disc in my back, and then tried to compete day two, but I could barely even walk or
Yeah.
anything. So
Oh
it
my
was
gosh.
just, I had
Yeah.
to withdraw from the competition as a scratch.
Oh,
It was so devastating because I had worked so hard all year, and I had such an amazing year too that was like an abrupt stop, and wanted to try for worlds that year too. So that was really hard.
yeah. Oh, that sounds so tough. So, in all of that, were you thinking about college or were you still way too young for that? Like, I
I
wanna know how you also, like, got to OU, like, how that
Okay.
decision was made.
Yeah. So I was before all of the recruiting
Okay.
rules and stuff. So I
Oh,
committed
so
at
you had, like,
13.
no okay. You committed at 13?
Yeah, we had no
Oh
rules.
my gosh. Wow, wow.
Yeah. So I started getting letters from universities in like fifth grade. And I was like, what is college? Like,
And did you go to public school?
I did,
Oh
yes.
my gosh. I just think that's so funny because you probably went into school like, "Guys, I got mail from Oklahoma," and they're like, "What's Oklahoma?" Like,
Literally. Like, what's
"What's
college?
college?" Wow.
Yes. And I would go to like summer camps, and
Yeah.
a bunch of college coaches would come into my gym
Mhm.
and come and watch. It was just like such a crazy time now that I think about it, because
Yeah.
now like seeing all these girls come on their recruiting visits, I'm like, wow, they're so much older. Like they
Right.
actually know what's going on.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so I took two visits. I took a visit to the University of Florida, and then I visited Oklahoma, and I just absolutely fell in love with OU. I'd been
Yeah.
coming to summer camps since I was really young here, so I'd known
Mhm.
like KJ, Lou, and Tom
Yeah.
for a long time, and just love the atmosphere here, love the legacy, the culture, just everything about it is just
Mhm.
what I envisioned of like being a college gymnast. And I
Yeah.
always watched them on TV, and I just always wanted to be like them. So when I got
Aw.
offered, it was just the most
You just
spectacular
knew,
day. And
like, that was the place.
yeah, I committed
Yeah.
on my visit.
So fun.
Yes, and it was just such a surreal moment, and I'm
Yeah.
just so blessed that I'm here today.
So cool. Okay, love to hear that. So, on Being Boldly, obviously, huge part of this is about faith. And you talk about your faith on social media through your posts and all of that. And I've always followed you and been like, wow, like I love that you do that. So, I would love to dive a little bit more into that. And then also tell, that story with the parallel of like your story of gymnastics.
Yeah, grew up in a Christian household, and we'd always go to church on Sundays, and then like holidays we'd go to. My grandparents live in a really small town, and we'd go to their church,
Huh?
like super small and intimate. And I always loved going to church, and those types of
Aw.
things, connecting with the Lord. And then I feel like I really kind of found it more when I had that back injury, and
Mhm.
I really didn't know like who I was at that point, because
Yeah.
I couldn't even like run for 6 months. I had to completely take off of gymnastics, and I'd never had a break from gymnastics like that ever in
Mhm.
my life.
Mhm.
And I was always told like you're only a gymnast. That's your identity. That's who you are. So when that was kind of stripped away from me, I literally had no idea who I was. I was kind
Yeah.
of like actually going through like an identity crisis. I had also lost the love for the sport. I didn't love it
Mhm.
anymore. I didn't want to do it anymore. Like I was so over it. I did
Yeah.
not have a good relationship with my coach or the sport of gymnastics. So that was like a really big turning point for me.
Yeah.
And looking back, like I definitely needed that to push me through to the rest of my career as well. And that's kind of when I adopted the phrase like trust the process.
Mhm.
I got it tattooed on me, my first tattoo.
Aw.
But just something that I always try to live by. Like everything happens for a reason. The good,
Mhm.
the bad. If you think like everything's against you, like it's for a reason and
Yeah.
God has a greater plan for you.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like a big turning point in my faith, like kind of bringing me, like connecting it to gymnastics as well. Because I never
Yeah.
really like connected them before.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that so many athletes struggle with, like gymnasts and non-gymnasts. I mean, I know for me, like I would be like, "Oh my gosh, church on Sundays, let's go. I love this. This is awesome."
Yes.
And then like turn around Monday morning and I'm like, "Oh my gosh." It
I,
doesn't even
yeah.
feel like you're the same person as you were the day before. And then you're standing at the end of the vault runway or you're like about to get on the beam and you're like, absolutely petrified. But yesterday, I was
I was
like,
doing
"Have
great.
no fear." Like, I have all the faith in the world, and
Yes.
it's so hard to connect the dots, and, like, that's why, being boldly is, like, starting. But I love your story. I wanted to ask, so you found God in that moment of, like, "Who am I? What am I?"
Mhm.
Was there a person in your life, a parent, who kind of steered you in that direction, or did you have a moment where you were like, "I have nothing left. I guess it's God that I turn to?"
I mean, I feel like it kind of like was my family
Mm.
because they never pushed gymnastics on me. They were always like, they let me choose what college I went to. If I wanted to keep pursuing gymnastics, they were all for it. If I didn't want to, they were all for that as well. It was
Yeah.
all for me. And they always told me if you're not having fun when you're doing it, if you're not loving it, if you're not enjoying it, then there's no point in doing it. And that was something that always stuck with me was to have fun and just to enjoy it. And I always did. But then at that point in my life, I was not. So I was like, literally what do I do with myself
Yeah.
because I've been doing this since 2 years old. So and I'd spent put so much time into it, sacrificed so much. My family had sacrificed so much. So I didn't want to disappoint them. I didn't want to disappoint myself. And
Yeah.
I'd even called KJ and I was like, I don't even know if I want to continue with this sport. I've just lost like all the love for it. I've
Yeah.
lost my passion, like my why to do it.
Mhm.
That was just such an eye opening experience for me. And I ended up switching gyms and
Okay.
I ended up retiring from Elite a few months later as well. My
Mhm.
body couldn't take
Yeah.
those skills and that much training.
Mhm.
I was doing 40 hours a week.
I mean, you said you were, like, almost at, like, a peak point where you're, like, trying all these new skills, like, mentally, you were probably, like, also
Yes.
not,
I was
like,
mentally
able.
so done. Like I was
Yeah.
done with myself at that point.
Not that you mentally weren't able to do those skills, but mentally you had reached capacity of, "Oh my gosh," and you went from such a high to such a low so quickly. I can totally see how you were like, "Wait, whoa." Like, things
Yes.
change and you're like, "Wait, who am I? What am I? Where am I going?"
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and that was a big thing with my doctors as well, was like,
Mhm.
you want to continue on like the Olympic path. The collegiate path probably isn't in the future because the Olympics came before collegiate level for me.
Right.
So like I was aiming for 2020 and I would go in 2021.
Okay,
So like
okay.
if I kept with that skill level and that training regimen, I probably would not be able to, my body wouldn't be able to keep up
Mhm.
for 4 more years after that. So
Yeah.
it was kind of, I really just had to make a decision of what my true dream was. And yes, I'd always wanted to go to the Olympics, but representing the University of Oklahoma and competing for a college team was always my utmost dream. So gave
Yeah.
up elite for that dream.
Yeah. Well, and obviously it was very rewarding.
Yes, it was.
right? Like I can't imagine you having many like regrets about that
Definitely not.
at all. I wanted to go back to the phrase you said, trust the process. I love that phrase. And something that's important to remember that we can often kind of skip over in scripture or just when thinking about God is like, God does everything in a process,
Hmm.
right? Like he created the world in 7 days. Like he could have just done it in one snap if he wanted to. But
Yes.
like he created a process. Jesus's life was a whole process, right? And
Hmm.
so while that phrase doesn't necessarily have a Christian like connotation with it, it totally does.
Yeah.
Seriously, because God has a whole process for your life. And when we trust that, like that's how we follow his plan.
Hmm.
And it's also a good reminder of like when we're in a season where we're like, okay, I'm in this process, but like, what am I doing? Or this is really hard, or I'm waiting on something and nothing's coming.
Hmm.
It's like that's a part of the process that he has for you. And
Yes.
he works in processes. So it makes sense that you have a season for that and a season for that and a season for that.
Yes. I love that. That's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. I just thought that was like super good to bring up. So
Hmm.
another thing you talked about was how you were really questioning like if you wanted to continue gymnastics, elite, all of it. What would you tell a younger gymnast or athlete who is also very committed in their sport going through that similar thing? Because I know in gymnastics, every almost every single gymnast has at least one period where they're like, I'm throwing in the towel.
Yep.
Like, there's no way. I literally can't keep going. And then, oftentimes we do, and then we're like, "Oh, I'm so glad I didn't quit." But there's also the times where it is in someone's best interest to take a step back. So
Hmm.
what advice would you give on that, or what kind of helped you and guided you through that situation in your life?
Yeah, I would say like the biggest takeaway I have like from that experience and everything else that I have learned is that
Mhm.
your sport and gymnastics specifically, it is not your identity. It is not who you are. It's just something that you do. And you have to enjoy every single part of it because everybody says it goes fast, but it really does go
I
fast.
know. I'm already feeling it, and I'm
Yeah,
only a sophomore.
literally. It's actually crazy. And just to enjoy it and take everything like with a grain of salt, like at the
Mm,
end of the day, it is just gymnastics. If you have a bad day, so be it. If you have a bad turn, so be it. You have another turn,
mhm,
you have another practice, you have another opportunity to get better. And you have this God given talent that not a lot of people do, especially at our point in our careers. And the
mhm.
fact that we even made it to college gymnastics is crazy. And it's just such a dream to be living in, never taking it for granted and just not making it your entire life as well.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have, like, any practical ways that you did that, of just
Hmm.
making sure that, like, it wasn't consuming your whole life and identity?
Yeah, I really tried to separate practice and like competitions, all of that, like keeping that in practice and out of practice, I'm
Mhm,
doing things that I enjoy. I'm hanging out with friends, I'm outside with my dog, hanging out with my now husband, watching movies, shopping, like
mhm.
doing those things that I enjoy. Getting my nails done, self
Yeah,
care things, like all those little things that make you feel good to make sure that you feel good inside of the gym and
mhm.
trying not to stress about those things you can't control if you're not in the gym.
Right. I think that's so good. We talk about all the time, and I'm sure you guys did too, on, your team, just, like, control what you can control.
Yes.
And the rest, like, let it be. And I think it's so hard, especially when you're in that stage of recruiting and it literally feels like gymnastics is your whole life because you go to school and then you have a couple calls with coaches and then you have to go to practice and like the whole time you're at practice you're thinking about, oh, would this routine be good enough for this team, would I even make the lineup at that team, like
Hmm.
all those things. And so I think that's such great advice, like compartmentalize,
Hmm.
like, okay, for the 4 hours or whatever that I'm in the gym, that's in the gym. And then the second I walk out,
let your brain do something else.
Yes. I
Because our
feel like
brain,
it's so important to do that.
yeah, and our brain literally does gymnastics thinking about gymnastics.
No,
Like our
seriously.
brain is going, 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 going. And
Yes.
so such a good reminder, especially like when you're young too, and you don't have you're not able to drive. You can't go take yourself to get your nails done. You can't,
Yeah.
drive yourself to go hang out with your friends. But making a point to be like, "Mom, can we do this? Can we watch this show? Can we
Hmm.
whatever?" Because my gosh, it will eat you alive.
It will. Yes.
It really will. Okay, so shifting to your NCAA career, um, obviously you were one of the top, if not the top gymnast in your 4 years in the NCAA. How were you able to keep your focus and your eyes fixed on the Lord and what you know is true when the media is so loud? College gym news is saying this and that, even just like fans and then pressure.
Yeah. A big thing on our team, like our team is very driven by faith, and
Mhm.
that is something that helped me grow in my faith as well coming here.
Yeah.
And I just loved that. We would all go to church together, we'd have Bible studies together, like FCA, all of those types of things, just to grow closer to the Lord. Every meet, we always pray together as a team with KJ, and it's just such a beautiful thing. I love that aspect of this team, and just seeing how that like comes into fruition as well. And our team talks about it all the time. It's a long season, and it is exhausting.
I mean, and preseason like should count as in season because it's like also so hard.
I agree.
And it's just like never ending.
No, and it is like, yes, it's physically exhausting, but it is so mentally exhausting. Competing every single weekend,
Mhm.
having that amount of adrenaline, that amount of
Mhm.
pressure, the media pressure, it is
Mhm.
insane.
Yeah.
And being able to stay grounded, stay within your team and yourself is such an important thing, and not letting the outside noise give you anything.
Yeah. Like not giving it power.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and that's something that we talk about all the time as with our team is that outside noise. Like, and we always talk about like how pressure is a privilege.
Huh. Uh-huh.
Like everybody putting that pressure on us and having those expectations, like it is a privilege because of the team that we are. And
Yeah.
especially coming into the SEC, like added even more because SEC gymnastics is just unmatched.
Yeah, it added pressure to every team, but I mean, especially for you guys,
Hmm.
obviously being one of the top teams and then coming into like the other top teams
Yes,
and
like
like always going against
the
them,
top
you
conference.
know?
Like, week
Yeah,
in, week
yeah,
out was always a test. And
yeah.
that was
And
something
it's
that we
literally
tried to
anyone's game
embrace.
on
No,
any day.
seriously, any day. And that was something that was big, like last year that we learned as well, my junior year
Mhm.
from nationals. Like, we were undefeated all
Mhm.
year, like, beat the 20-year scoring record, all of that. And
Yeah,
then just had like such an uncharacteristic day one of nationals, and not even making it to day two. That was such a crazy moment, but also
yeah.
such an amazing learning moment for us and a moment to grow. And I
Mhm.
feel like that honestly really helped us this year. And you could obviously see it like in our gymnastics too. And we face so much criticism in the media and so much outside noise. Like, even at nationals this year, they were talking about nationals last year. I'm like, this was a year ago. Like,
It's yeah,
let's move
like
on.
and I bet you guys are like, "We let it go. Can y'all let it go?"
Yes, like we let it go right away. Like,
Yeah.
you can't dwell on
Yeah.
those things, but here's the media bringing it all back up. Every
Right.
single interview I had, they talked about it.
My
It's
gosh.
always being brought back up. So that was
Yeah.
also something we really had to fight with this year, and just try to block out all the outside noise and know what was best for us.
Yeah. I would love for you to dive in deeper to what that learning experience was from failure because, of course, that was for your team like a big failure, right? It was significant. Everyone was watching. The expectation was obviously higher than that. But even in our day to day, failure is literally a part of gymnastics.
Yes.
Like, whether a failure for you is falling or just wobbling on a routine because you know that that's like not as good as you can do it,
Hmm.
we have this battle between failure and perfection nonstop.
Yes.
So I would love for you to talk a little bit about how you guys handled that failure and then like pivoted for the next year.
Hmm. Yeah, that was such a hard moment for our team. And especially, I feel like me as well, because I wanted to help lead that team to a national championship, and that was such an incredible team. Undefeated all year, all of that stuff, all those accolades that our team had. You would have thought it was like no doubt that we were going to go in and win.
Yeah.
And but that's the beauty of sports, It's how you learn from it and how you grow from it is what changes you and separates you from the rest. So we really took it as, I feel like I let myself like kind of grieve like that night, but then the day after, like I was pissed. Like I was like, I am so
I bet.
ready for next year. I was like, I'm so over this. Like
You're like, let
I'm
preseason start
ready.
right now.
I was like, we are done. And even
Yeah.
the freshmen this year who were not on the team last year, but they were watching it at home.
Yeah.
I mean,
You feel it when it's your team.
yes.
Like, I mean, I can even say that
Yeah.
from watching your senior year.
No,
There's so
for
much
sure.
anticipation of, you're a part of it,
Yes.
essentially.
So they didn't physically feel it,
Mhm.
but from them watching it and being in that environment, they knew what
It
it
fired
was.
them up too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and that was such a big thing and we had such a big freshman class. So bringing them in and really teaching them the culture and the legacy of OU gymnastics and what it means to be an OU gymnast was such an important thing for us last year. And my senior class was truly incredible, like the most amazing senior class. And we all worked so well together and pushed each other. We held each other accountable. And just knowing that there's always more to give, like to never get complacent and all of those things that can just separate you from the best.
Yeah, that's so good. I would love for you to talk a little bit more about leadership too, because I think obviously it's super important no matter what team you're on. But in gymnastics, it's still an individual sport, so it's easy to like, turn inward. How did you like develop as a leader from going from like literally being by yourself in every competition, every practice, to then being on this team and then like ultimately your senior year leading the team to the national championship to win it? Like how did you grow in that leadership? What did that look like? And do you have advice for other people who are trying to be a leader but they just don't know how to practically do that?
Yeah, coming in freshman year, definitely the thing I lacked the most was confidence. I had all of my skills, all my routines, all of that, but it was self confidence that I lacked the most. And again, that was also not being on a team, putting all this pressure
Right.
on myself, like, and just doing uncharacteristic things that I did not do every single day
Mhm.
in those pressure situations. Carly Woodard, she was a fifth year my freshman year, but that senior class my freshman year was such an incredible class, just the most incredible woman, and they knew how to lead a team like no other.
Mm.
They really took us freshmen in under their wing, and Carly really took me under her wing. She was such an amazing leader, in and out of the gym, and that's something also that kind of instilled in me as well. You can do and say all you want in the gym, but it's what you do outside of the gym that really matters and what's
Yeah.
going to separate you. So she really helped me gain my confidence. Halfway through freshman year, we kind of had a heart-to-heart talk. You know what you're doing. You are so talented. You've done this a million times. There's no reason to doubt yourself. We all have your backs.
Yeah.
You have all of ours. Like, we're in this together, and that's all that matters. So just to go out there and do what you know how to do and do it to your best ability. And I feel like that was kind of like a big change, like in flip in my career at that point, and really just gave me the utmost confidence the rest of my career, and kind of found that within myself too, and then trying to instill it into my teammates as well in the gym, on the competition floor. I would always love when the girls would come up to me for little pep talks and little things just to like get them going. Like I always love doing that for them. You don't have to be a leader just your senior year. No matter what age you are, you have that instilled in you, and you have a voice. You know what's right, and you know in that moment what's right too. So speaking up and leading by example as well is so important.
Yeah, so good. I love that, and I feel like your team, specifically just watching from the outside, that leadership is so visible and that says something about it. When you can see the leadership from the outside, you know that that team is doing something right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I also feel like as a freshman, like you're thinking the older girls, like they're so good. They never went through anything. They never struggled with
Yeah.
anything like this, but everybody goes through that.
Mhm.
So that was also something I wanted to also be a voice and an advocate for, especially with such a young team this year was like all of these freshmen and so many
Yeah.
of them competed as well. And that's hard. So
Yeah.
knowing that they can come to me when they're struggling because I've been exactly where they have been before.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. This has been an amazing conversation. Just to wrap up, I would I have two more questions. One, I know you talked about the phrase trust the process and how that's kind of like your thing. You have a tattoo of it. Is there a specific, like, Bible verse or worship song other than that, that you hold close in your day-to-day life or that was super important to you for practice or competition? I would love for you to share that because you never know what little girl is looking for that, and it could change,
Yes.
their
Yeah.
perspective.
My favorite verse is Philippians 4:13. I actually also have that tattooed on me.
Mhm,
But it's just something I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me.
mhm.
He is so strong and he instills that into you every single day, every moment. And when you have that sign of weakness, you feel that pressure, just looking to him and he knows exactly what you need in that moment. And just taking a deep breath and letting him take all of your worry and anxiety and just giving it your all, no matter what it is, and
Mhm.
just doing your best.
Yeah, I love that, and there's so much power in kind of like you were saying that like surrender of God, you got this. I'm going to give my all, but I know that ultimately the victory is yours. You are in control of what's happening. And we were talking actually in our team Bible study last week about how God knows what we need before we even say it.
Mm-hmm.
He could do anything he wants in the snap of his fingers. I said that earlier. But the act of you inviting him in to that, that's what changes you. Like, he can do it all on his own, but if you wanna be in on it and you wanna experience what he has for you and what it's like to accomplish something knowing that he was the reason or, like, he's what fueled you and he's the thing that gets the glory, there's so much fulfillment and joy in that compared to, like, the gosh, I have to do this. I have to get this done. It's all on me. Like everything's depending on me. Everything's weighing on my shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And Philippians 4:13 is such a good reminder of just like my strength is in the Lord, not in myself, and
Mm-hmm.
like that's what's going to carry me through. So,
Yeah.
I love that you said that. Last question, what is your final piece of advice to a gymnast or a younger athlete who's just trying to navigate how their sport and their faith coexist?
Yes, I would just say, give all of your trust in the Lord, all of your anxiety, anything that you're feeling, you're stressed about recruiting, you're stressed about your first competition, anything that you're prepared. He has prepared you, He has put you through these waters and He wouldn't put you through anything He knows you couldn't take on as well. So,
Mhm.
knowing that you're prepared for this, He's prepared you for this, and no matter what happens, everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
He's always
Yeah,
there.
and
So,
gymnastics isn't your whole identity no matter what
no,
happens.
exactly. Yes. Like
Yeah.
I'm just enjoying the process, really trying to enjoy it all.
Yeah.
Even the failures, learn how to grow from them, learn just so much from them and be a better person and athlete every single day, just always trying to improve yourself.
Yeah. Awesome. So good. Thank you so much, Jordan.
Yes,
This
thank
has
you.
been absolutely amazing. Thank you guys for listening. I hope that you enjoyed. I don't know how you wouldn't have enjoyed that conversation. It was so good. Like, subscribe, follow along this journey of being boldly with me. And Jordan, where can they find you and follow you and your story?
Yes. Instagram, Twitter, all of my TikTok, all of my handles are Jordan S. Bowers. So you can find
Awesome.
me all there.
Perfect. Go follow Jordan, you guys. Her story is amazing, and I know that you will continue to see things about God. You will be blessed by her posts, everything that she shares. It's awesome, and it all points back to the Lord, which is what matters most. So thank you guys so much for listening, and I will see you next time.
Thank
Bye,
you.
you guys. Thanks, Jordan.
Bye. Thank you.